All right, so why don't we get started? I know people will be joining us. We've got a packed agenda as usual, and we'll leave time at the end if there are any updates or announcements from for the good of all. But I wanted to mention that we have a upcoming memorial. It's our second annual memorial service, and it's at the same park that we had last year in Winton Woods, and it's just an opportunity for staff, both from DD from Hamilton County DD Services and provider staff to really honor the memories of people that we've lost over the last year. So please put that on your calendars. You know, it's a really lovely event, and we have some um, uh, activities planned so we can remember folks. So that's 10:30 Friday, June 13th, and there's a sign up in the flyer attached. I also wanted to
One more thing,
mention,
Dawn.
oh yeah,
ADA programs are also welcome to join. We just want to make sure we have space capacity. So
oh yeah, for sure. Yep. Thank you for saying that, Karen. Yeah, all are welcome. We also have a provider fair coming up on July 31st. And that should be another, I think it's our second annual one, right, Karen?
we do them periodically, yeah, but this one, it's already at capacity. We had space for 75 providers, so they are currently taking a waiting list. So if you want to be added to the waiting list, if you didn't make it on the initial list, feel free to go ahead and there's a link in the flyer to email to request to be added to that.
So it's an opportunity to meet SSAs and SSA teams leads, and also to meet families who might be interested in learning more about providers. So please, you know, it's a good opportunity to share your services with folks directly. And then lastly, I wanted to mention that we have a new project with Station MD. If you recall, that's something that where folks can have telehealth for medical needs. And we've just recently added a pilot program where we have folks who have more complex behavioral needs getting psychiatry and telebehavioral health. So just keep that in mind if that's something that someone you serve might benefit from that. And Jamie, I see you're on here too, so add anything I'm missing. You can contact your SSA, and there's a referral process where we can access this. And if we see a lot of interest and it really takes root and is helpful to folks who might struggle getting to doctor's appointments, getting to psychiatry appointments or mental health appointments, we might be able to expand this. But we're starting small to see if there's interest and that it's you know, that it's useful for families and individuals we serve. Jamie, what did I miss?
I think you covered it. If anyone has any questions about whether you think it might benefit someone you're working with, you're welcome to reach out to me, and I'm happy to talk you through the pros and cons. So,
Thanks, Jamie. I
yeah.
appreciate that. All right.
Thanks,
Karen?
Jamie. You want to put your email in the chat so people have
Yeah.
it? Um, I know my face won't show up because I have a placid face, but I have not been excited about a project for a very, very long time. And next on the agenda, I want to welcome Kevin Smith from OnScene. And he's going to talk about how we are going to revitalize, revamp, modernize our provider search tool to make a platform or to implement a platform that's much easier for both SSAs and providers to be connected with individuals that need support. So I think just to give a little bit of an update, you should be getting an email from OnScene to join the Life Care Marketplace. Probably we're hoping later today or later this week. And then you can opt in. It's a very intuitive system to use. And then the next few months, we are going to work to really get providers enrolled in the system, creating their profile. And then SSAs will be trained in the system in September, and we will go live in mid-September. We really want to make sure we're able to continue to provide free choice of provider. So that's why there's that 2-month hold, just to get you familiar in the system. So without any further delay, before I get you started, Kevin, I want to send a thank you as well. We were one of the counties that were able to pilot OnScene and provide feedback. So we had a handful of maybe about 10 or 15 providers that were able to get in the system and provide some feedback. I know a few of you are on the line. If you want to, feel free to chime in. I think it's really easy to use. I think it will be a great enhancement and an efficiency to your work. So.
All right, thanks, Karen. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Smith. I'm the VP of Client Solutions for OnScene, and we're super excited to be partnering with Hamilton County to roll out our provider search tool. This is something we've been working on for about a year and a half, and it's been rolling out throughout this year. Right now, we've got about 7 counties that are currently live on the system, another 30 counties that are in some stage of the implementation, and then out of the entire state, we've got about 80% of the counties who have said they're interested in using this system. So we're getting a lot of momentum and a lot of traction, and we're really excited. We think it's going to make the process of matching up individuals to the providers a lot more efficient, a lot easier for everybody involved, from the counties, the SSAs, the individuals and their families, and of course the providers. So what I want to do today is just take a couple minutes, give you guys a little bit of an idea of what to expect when this tool rolls out. As Karen said, we're going to be sending out emails later today to invite all the providers that provide services in Hamilton County. You guys should be getting an email this afternoon or tomorrow at the latest. And I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to just give you a little, show you what this is going to look like. Okay, so if you can see my screen, this is an example of what the email should look like. So if you don't get this today or tomorrow, check your junk mail. It may have gone in there. It's going to go to the contact person who's listed, or the person who's listed as the contact person with the state of Ohio for your organization. So that's who should be receiving this email. And when you go through and look at this email, it's going to give you kind of an overview of the system, but a couple things I want to point out. Right under the first couple paragraphs here, there's going to be a Join Now button, or a Join Now link. That's going to be where you can go in and you can access the system and register for your account. There's also a more info button. So if you want to get a little bit more information, click on that. That's going to take you to our what's called our landing page. That's where you're going to see all the background information about the marketplace and the provider search tool. And then if you scroll down a little bit down the email, you're going to see that we are providing training sessions ongoing every week. There's set days and times. Every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, there's going to be a training session. And providers are welcome to join any session that they want at any time. All you have to do is just click on one of these links, register for the session. It's open to anybody. And we're going to just kind of walk you through the registration process, the login process, setting up your account, setting up your profile, and just give you the basics. It shouldn't take more than 30 or 45 minutes for the training, but it will give you a good understanding of the system and how to use the system and respond to referrals that you are receiving once Hamilton County goes live with the system. So again, just to give you a little bit of an overview here, if you click on this Join Now button, that's going to take you to a screen that looks like this. So this is going to be a registration page. You're going to put in your name, a username, email address, and a password, and that's going to set up your account within what we call the Live Care Marketplace. Once you set up your account, then it's going to let you log in. So you're going to see a login screen similar to this. And what you're going to have is you're going to have an invitation screen here. So the nice thing about this, especially for large providers, is that if you operate in multiple counties, you're actually going to be able to be invited to the marketplace for each county that you provide services in, and you're going to be able to receive referrals from those different counties. So when Hamilton County invites you, you'll see an invitation here under the invitation section, similar to this, where it says pending. And you're going to just go over to these 3 dots and accept your invitation. And that's it. That's going to set you up and register you in the Live Care Marketplace. One of the important things, though, is once you get set up in the marketplace, then you have the access to your company profile. So over here on the left-hand side, if I click on company profile, this is where it's going to have all the information about your organization as a provider. So on the left-hand side, you have all of your contact information, your website, a description of your organization and the services that you provide. If I scroll down a little bit, you're going to see the contact, phone number, address, all of this basic information about your organization. This is what the families and the SSAs are going to see when you get matched up to a referral. So they're going to see, they're going to be able to go in there and see the description. They're going to have a link to your website so they can go explore that. They're going to have a link to the compliance reports in here. So you want to kind of make sure that that information is up to date and that the description of services, all that information is what you want to communicate out to the SSAs and to the families and to the individuals who you want to provide services to. Over here on the right-hand side, this is very important because this is going to help with the matching. A big component of this is that we don't want to just send blanket referrals out to everybody in the state and send referrals out to providers that doesn't apply to them. So you can go in here and you can customize your services, customize your profile to specify exactly what services you provide and exactly what counties you're providing those services. So take Homemaker Personal Care, for example, down here. If I am providing Homemaker Personal Care, I can go in and say, yes, I'm accepting new clients. Right now, it's showing that I'm accepting new clients in these 3 counties, Delaware, Franklin, and Pickaway. And maybe we want to go in here, we want to add Hamilton County. So we would just click Hamilton County, and it's just like that. We can update our profile to now accept new clients in Hamilton County. And that is going to update our matching so that then when SSAs create new referrals, it's going to match them up to the providers that say that they're providing that service in that county. If, for example, something changes in your organization, you don't have a staff, you have staff that turnover, and you don't have resources to provide HPC in that county right now, you can go in and you can turn that off. You can turn it on and off in real time, and that's going to impact the matches that you're getting and the referrals that you're getting through the LiveCare marketplace. The other thing that you can do as a provider is you can add additional users within your organization. So if you have staff that are going to handle the referrals, you can set them up in the system. You can give them a username and a password where they can log into the dashboard and they can see. And you're even going to be able to segregate referrals by service and by county. So if you're a large provider and you are accepting referrals in multiple counties, you can specify certain staff to handle certain counties. So you have maybe 1 or 2 staff that are going to take all the referrals from Hamilton County. And that way we're going to channel those referrals and channel the notifications and emails for those referrals just to those users who are set up for that county. That way we're making sure that the right staff, the right people are getting the information and they're not getting bombarded with a bunch of emails and notifications for referrals that don't apply to them. Okay, so we're really trying to make that efficient process. And then just to give you an idea of what it'll look like when you receive a referral in the system, as a provider, when that referral goes out from the county and they say for HPC, let's say, it's going to go to all the providers, you're going to get an email notification letting you know you have a new referral. And then when you go into the LiveCare marketplace, it's going to open up your dashboard and you're going to see a listing of all of the referrals that have come in for your organization. So as we can see here at the top of my list, I've got some pending referrals, which means those are new referrals I have not yet responded to. And I can go in and I can drill down into that to look at all of the details that the county has entered in for this referral. Information about the individual, information about the services that they need. And the more information that the SSA and the county enters into this referral, the more information that you're going to be able to see, and it's going to help as a provider to determine whether or not you're going to be able to, or whether or not you're interested in providing services for this individual. If you think this looks like something that you're interested in, that you want to provide this service, you simply tap on the interested button And that is going to then notify the county and the family that you're interested. And from that point, then you guys can sync up. They can have a conversation, have some more discussions, and see if it's going to be a good fit for that individual and for their family. If you're not interested, that's fine too. You can click on the not interested button. And when you click that button, it's going to ask you for a little bit of feedback. So whether or not you're interested or not, you're going to put in, I'm interested and I would love to work with you and I'd like to get started right away. Or I'm not interested. We just had staff turnover and we're not going to be able to service this individual right now. So you put a little note in there of why you're not interested. And then finally, one of the really neat things about this workflow is that once it goes back over to the county and the SSA works with the individual and they've come to an agreement and a decision on which provider they want to use, that is going to get updated in the system. So as a provider, you're always going to be updated and you're going to be able to see for each referral if you were selected as or the provider for that referral, or if a different provider was selected, you're going to get updated and let you know that that referral is now closed, a different provider was selected, and that way you don't have to keep wondering or you don't have to continue to follow up on that referral. You'll know the status and then it'll get updated in the system as soon as it happens. So we think this process is going to be a really efficient workflow. As Karen mentioned, we've been piloting it with several counties. We've gotten a lot of excellent feedback and implemented some additional enhancements based on that feedback. And we are really excited to see you guys in one of the provider trainings to get you guys registered on the system and get Hamilton County up and running on the marketplace here towards the end of the summer. So thanks again, Karen. I appreciate the time and letting me speak to the group and look forward to talking with everybody soon.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Does anyone have questions for Kevin before we let him leave?
Yeah, I do have a question. I want to see if you click interesting or pending, right? Just now you show no interest. If interesting, just click the button. Can you show me again? Because if sometimes we're interested, we have a good, oh, you have feedback, right? Okay, thank you. We just want to, hey, I have a provider, why we want to be select. We have a good provider. We have experience, based on this one. Okay, thank you. So I just want to see when I'm interested, can we add comments?
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you. The other one I want to ask, just now you mentioned we can, if we have a lot of employees, they looking for a client, we can give temp permission, right? It's not always, if they're needed, we can give a temp access, right? Permission. They also can look at the client good for them. Is that right? As an agency, if we have a 10 employee, one employee is have a capacity looking for, we are busy, we don't want to watch every day. I think you mentioned we can give the employee a temp access. Is that right?
Yes. You can give access to any of your employees temporary, and you can give them access. You can remove it later on if you want to. So yeah, you have full control to administer any users within your organization.
Okay, they view only, or they can view and apply, like click the interest?
They can view and click the interest.
Oh, is there some option we only make them like read only? Because when apply, right, I don't want without, our agency agree, they just click bunch of things. So I just want, as an employee, they are view only. Then they say, hey, I like this client. Can you apply for me? So we still have a central control, but we don't want employee click because just in case, right? They click bunch of things. It's no. So that's I want. Is this option?
No, that's a great idea and great suggestion. We don't have a view only right now on the provider, but I do like that idea. That's a great idea that I'll bring that to our team and discuss that.
Thank you.
In chat, Jim from Envision asked if this was available statewide. So that's a little bit of a tricky question, Jim. Unseen was awarded a grant from DODD to develop this. And so it is available to all counties, but some have not chosen to opt in at this point. So it's county by county whether they're using this system or another system. Is that fair, Kevin?
Exactly. That's perfect. Any other questions?
So there's a question about the rapid response portal. And I believe, I'm not familiar with the rapid response portal. Is that just, Jen, is that just for assistive tech remote supports, or is that for something else? Is she still on?
I'm here. Yeah, that's just
Okay.
assistive tech. That's run by the state. That's not local. It's just assistive tech and remote support.
Yeah, so this is different than the rapid response portal in addition. How do we find out if our county is participating? Your county, the counties will, as they roll out, will send out invitations, just like Hamilton County is going to be doing today. So as other counties join on with the marketplace, they will also be sending out invitations to you to join their county. But you can certainly reach out to your contact at each county board to, if they're not on the system yet, or if they haven't talked to us, you can let them know and encourage them that as a provider, you would love to see them opt into the Live Care Marketplace.
Well, we're waiting for other questions to come in. Would anyone who actually piloted and tested the system like to share sort of their experience or their feedback?
I'll just give a little bit. Very easy to use. So I know initially there was a couple glitches, but I think the response, Kevin, from your team, that we would kind of filter to Karen and she would filter to you. You guys were very receptive to any ideas that we had, or just any tweaks that needed to be made. But I absolutely loved it. Just from anyone who gets bombarded with the referral emails, just to have that piece, knowing that's going to stop, is absolutely glorious. But no, I'm excited for it. So it was just very easy to use, very easy to understand. And I think any just setting up that you're just unsure about, I think the team was great with just walking through what those steps are. So I can't speak highly enough about it.
Thanks, Sandy. Appreciate that. Yeah, so there's going to be the training sessions, as I mentioned. Also, our support email is support@onseen.com. And so once you guys go through the training session, any questions, anything that you have, we've been working with different providers and independent and agency providers to help them get set up. So if there's any questions or anything, we're always here to, and we try to respond back to those emails that come into our support within 24 hours.
I have another question. So just now the screen you show us is how we look at the searching service. How about the interface from the client side? When they look at us, how they can view, because there's a lot of company, right? What's the interface? Just now you show the introduction for company. That's the client show, right? The company for profile. That's the things client family look at it just
Yes.
based on the profile, right?
So this company profile is what the family and the individual are going to be looking at.
Okay.
And so the SSA will share this information with them, and they'll see this description. You can edit that and customize it. So when I click on that edit button, you can put in anything you want in the description here. You can add hyperlinks. You can add, excuse me, you can add your website. So that information is all going to be visible and available to the families and the individuals as they're deciding which provider is going to work best for them.
Okay, thank you. So in the past 10 years, 15 years, when we worked the field, for my personal experience as an agency is, normally we have a 90, 95 already matching, right? So we're stable. Sometimes we have a new provider, they really looking for job. If you don't give a client, they will losing, they will go other place, right? So I want to say, if there's a place for like an agency here on this page, we can promote ourselves like, hey, now for the summer, I have 5 college students. They have an OT, PT background. They're looking for summer help. Is there some place? And it's not always, right? But now we hire the people because when the client look at, hey, there's 100, like agency, how they can select. I just get, I have 5 new students willing to help in summer. I just want to know how I can passing this information to SSA or client. They can know, oh, they have ability, right? It's not agency available. We have good new resource coming. It's very good. We're looking for client. If there's something can promote our
I think
need.
that might be good detail to include when you say you're interested, because you are able to put a comment there. So that might be a good place to put that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And you can even update this description too. So if you want to put something at the beginning of the description to say, update, we've just hired, 5, college students that we've got availability and we're looking for work. You can put that right at the top of your description. So that's going to show up for you to see that, or for the SSA and the individuals to see that when they see that match.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Just so you don't panic, wondering, has a live care email been sent out to join or opt in? I also have a corresponding email that it will be sent, like the provider newsletter sent to that whole listserv, so that you will know that the email's gone out, that you should receive it. Check your spam. And if you feel like you should have received the email as a DOO or as an independent provider and you did not, that you can reach out to either our provider support or on-scene provider support. And those emails will also be in the correspondence. All right, any last questions? Thank you so much for joining us, Kevin. I think we are all very excited about the months to come and implementing the live care marketplace. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everybody.
All right. I have a few state updates and waiver things that I just wanted to cover. The first is electronic visit verification, EVV. It is going into effect October 1st for homemaker personal care, not on-site on call. Participant-directed HPC, waiver nursing, nursing delegation, and residential respite billed at the 15-minute unit. And if there's not a corresponding EVV claim for those units entered to be billed, they will not be reimbursed. So just to give you an idea, for April 2025, we had right around of 33.5% compliance. So 67% non-compliance with EVV claims, which means just over 12.7 million would not be paid to providers. So we're really, really concerned. October seems like a long way off, but we want you to make sure your systems are in place so there is not a delay in your being able to bill and receive payment. So now is a great time to start building your systems, making sure that you're able to resolve errors as they come up so that there isn't a delay. I did attempt to send out an email to providers this week, early in the week, or middle week right now. So there are 3 letters. Either you haven't started using EVV, please start, or you've started, you still probably have room for improvement. And then for providers that were at that 95% compliant, just thank you. You seem to be on top of things, keep it up. So hopefully you received one of those emails if you provide services with which that applies. If you have questions, we are limited in our ability to respond because it is a Medicaid system. So we can't see it. We don't we can't get access to the system, see what the errors are. So it's really hard for us to support. All right, EBB. Waiver updates. We do have 3 waiver updates that are going into place July 1st, and Jen was not able to share those, so you're stuck with me. But the good news is they're not that complicated. So we'll go over them pretty quickly. The first one is there is a new service for vehicle modification. So there is a separate service that can be authorized through the waiver for available vendors. The second one is for assistive tech. The service now includes service animal training and has budget limits for that. So the initial training is $10,000. Subsequent training cannot exceed $2,000, and then $500 for examination routine vaccination. And then the final thing is the waiting list role assessment role was updated. So it's basically information for the county board. We have to continue to start putting it in Salesforce, like the OISP. We're transitioning all to the state DODD system. And then it also gives us guidelines for removing people from the waiting list, which includes if someone refuses to secure Medicaid, they can't be on a waiver, or if they didn't decline to use SSA, they can't be on a waiver. So those are some quick updates of the July 1st waiver rules. Next thing I want to cover is that we do have new compliance tools that are going into effect. So those are July 1st too, right? The compliance tools. In the provider newsletter, I did provide links to those updated tools with the track changes so you can see what's changed. A lot of it has updating with the tool to align with our county board accreditation tool, so the questions align. There's some changes with rule updates and settings rule in the questions, so make sure you look through those. In the provider newsletter as well, I provided a link to the DODD recording. So if you have a compliance manager on your end and you want them to review the trainings, there's that link there if they missed it. Anything else from my team with compliance tools? Oh, I'm excited. We have a 4th QA reviewer now. You guys are probably familiar with Brandy Murray, Raynetta Mays, Nikki Patrisco. And we now have a 4th person in our midst who's Claire Harrison. You may be familiar with her. She was an SSA prior, but we are really growing in our provider community. I don't know if you know this, but we had, I think, 170 providers join Hamilton County as new providers last year. Almost equally split between, well, about 100 independent providers, 70 agency providers. So we are seen as partners on the front end. So with that growth, we invite Claire to our team. So thank you, Claire. Welcome.
Thanks, Karen.
Yeah. All right. The final thing that I want to mention before I switch it over to Jenny with MUI stuff is that we are doing another provider networking event on September 4th. To sort of kick off DSP Appreciation Week a week early. And we're going to do it from 4 to 6 again p.m. at MadTree. So those of you that were able to join, I think it was just a lovely evening of getting together, sharing stories, laughing, sharing experiences, and just partnering together. We had a great mix of agency and independent providers. It was just a nice evening. So thank you all for taking the time, that those who took the time last month to attend, and make sure you get on the calendar for September 4th. And I think that's all I have. Jenny?
All right. So, sorry, I was creating something to put into the chat. And of course, I don't know what happened to it. It's no longer available. But just real quick, everybody knows, I'm sure you've heard a million times now, MUI, we have a new rule or rule revisions going into effect July 1st. And DODD has said that anybody who has a reporting responsibility needs to be trained by July 1st. So I don't know who that excludes. Anybody essentially who's has any contact with our folks as a mandated reporter. So we need to try to get all these people trained by July 1st. So on that note, we did, and I'm almost done with it. I'll make sure that it gets sent in, but there are a couple of options that DODD has recorded the last 2 sessions. So it's the March 27th session and then yesterday's session, July 3rd. Both of those should be available on the website, on their website. I looked this morning for the July 3rd one and I wasn't able to find it yet, so it'll probably be posted sometime today. Along with that, they have updated some of the appendices. Cindy, where's Cindy? So I was so excited that one of the I've been to like, I don't know how many of these trainings now, but one of the last ones, they said, yes, you can take our form and you can customize it to make it fillable to meet your needs. Well, they backtracked on that and yesterday said, no, we want you to use our forms. So I played with their forms last night and they are not very user friendly. So I made sure to send an email last night saying, hey, these are not pretty. These are not, you know, we want our folks to be able to use, you know, use these electronically, whatever the case may be. So I got an email back this morning saying that they would look at them. I hope nobody on here is from our IT department, because I kind of offered us as, you know, we will work with you. I'll create them. We'll do whatever we need to do, but we need these to be user friendly. So still working on that. So don't freak out if you see these forms and you start typing in them and it gets all jumbled and messed up. We're working on getting those fixed. So is that the June 10th one, Karen, that you just posted? That is full, the Planet registration, if that's the one from June 10th in-person training.
The one at Kingsley, it looks open right now online.
Oh,
allowing you to register.
Okay, I was told it was closed. So if you are able still to, then get in. We capped that.
Never mind. It has a drop down of sold out.
Okay,
My
so
fault.
so the in-person trainings, the last one they have scheduled is June 10th. So if you're not registered for that one, you're probably not getting in. I am looking at, I know they have received a ton of requests up there to see if we can open it up to more people. So I'm looking at some other options to see if we can do that. But my best recommendation suggestion at this point is to schedule your own watch party. You can watch one of the recorded webinars that's already been done. And while you won't get an official certificate from DODD, there's a form that you can fill out to maintain for your own personal records that will count towards your training. The other option is to build your own training. So similarly to what, you know, DODD did, you can take it and you can customize it to fit your specific groups. Having sat through the 2-hour one yesterday, there's a lot of it that doesn't apply to our DSPs. There's some that, you know, doesn't apply to other folks. So you can absolutely customize that to meet your needs. I am working to try to customize it from our end for everybody. So currently I've got a kind of an internal one in the works, and then I plan to customize that to maybe fit other folks. So I would be happy to share that once it's all said and done, if you guys want to use any of that. So if you have any other questions, you feel like, you know, you need something, you know, the other option we talked about yesterday, you know, DD services, we could offer another watch party if people are interested in that. We could, you know, coordinate something, get a group together over at Kingsley or whatever and watch together as a group. We could answer questions, do something like that if people are interested. I will say, you know, a little disappointed yesterday. We had 110 people register for the watch party and we had 35 people show up. So, you know, we want to make sure that it's worth our while to get everybody together too. We were extremely happy to have 35 people. That's 35 people more that are trained. So again, looking to, you know, willing to work with folks to make sure that everybody gets trained. Really, honestly, I think the biggest area that we are going to have to really, you know, make sure we work together on is the biggest changes with unanticipated hospitalizations. So if you haven't seen that part, make sure you look at it. That truly is going to be one of the biggest changes and hurdles that we're going to have to work through. There's just a lot of nuances with it. So we're in it together. We'll get through it. They're saying they're going to give us grace. So I've got that on recording. So we're going to use that. So is there anything else I was supposed to cover, Karen?
Yeah, I
Uh,
think there is one more thing about a survey opportunity.
Yes.
Remember that?
I do remember that. So that came from
Disability Death and
OACB.
Abuse Survey.
Yep, death and abuse survey. So is that out? That's in a newsletter too, right? So people
It's
can.
under the agenda, so you just click on it, but I can put in the
So-
chat as well.
Yep. So OACB, and I don't remember all of the details, so make sure you check it out. But they have partnered with. I'm not even going to remember right now, Karen. They partnered with someone, and they're doing a survey essentially on people with disabilities, people who are deaf, hard of hearing, kind of as victims, and doing a survey on that. So again, take a look at that. I apologize, I'm not more prepared to talk about it. I was just asked if I could share it more widely, and we agreed, since it was a vetted survey, that we would offer that to folks to fill out. So take a look at that. Not sure if there's anything else.
Does anybody
Yeah.
else have anything to share? Any updates? What do you think of Ginny's offering to have a watch party again at Kingsley? Is that necessary or helpful on any of your ends to get staff in?
Yeah, if we don't do a watch party, again, the other thing we could try to do would be get, a more, I think by the third week, I could have maybe something together more DSP specific, if people are interested in that, or there's a lot of stuff with providers, independent providers no longer have to do annual analysis, and so there's a lot of things that providers don't have to do anymore either, that we want to make sure that people are aware of. We have what, 26 days, 27 days, 26 days. We'll get there.
Plenty of time.
Plenty.
All right. Well, we'll stay on for a few minutes if anyone has questions. Appreciate your feedback today and questions, and looking forward to working together as we move on. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy some sunshine.